Do you ever get this gut feeling? Hey friends, it's Anne from Veggie Magnifique, your go-to for holistic wellness and a healthy vegan lifestyle, and today we're discussing gut health. I don't know about you, but a lot of people in my life, in my friends and family have gut concerns, and so I thought it was high time that we address this health issue, both for those people in my life, but also for you watching at home. If this can help anyone to continue their detective work on healing their gut, then it'll be an absolute win. Now, I realize that gut health is incredibly complex and holistic in nature, but I still feel like we can cover quite a bit of ground in a short time. That could be helpful. So today I'm going to cover dietary recommendations, lifestyle recommendations, a few important bonus tips, as well as a few things you'll want to avoid if you're looking to heal your gut. Now remember, I'm a health coach, so I studied holistic nutrition. I'm not a doctor. That being said, at the end of this video, I'm going to share some doctors as well as some resources that you can turn to go further into this topic. But what I can promise is that by following these dietary and lifestyle recommendations, you can foster a healthier and more resilient gut microbiome. So let's get started. Okay, so dietary recommendations for gut health. Now, when it comes to gut health, especially preemptively, you'll want to eat a diet that's rich in high fiber foods. Fiber is essential for feeding the beneficial gut bacteria, so you'll want to go for fruits and vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, all those fantastic fiber-rich plant foods. So on that note, of course, a plant-based diet is very rich in all of these things, like I said, so adopting a plant-based diet can really help with your gut health because it's naturally so high in fiber. Next up is to eat prebiotics. Prebiotic foods nourish the beneficial gut bacteria as well. So foods that are prebiotic in nature include onions, garlic, leeks, bananas, oats, asparagus. And next up, of course, you've probably heard this, but foods with probiotics are very beneficial as well because they're going to introduce beneficial bacteria to the gut. So your classic fermented foods, I made a video all about amazing fermented foods, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, what have you, plant-based yogurt, of course. And lastly, this is super important, but you want to vary your diet. A diverse diet that's filled with a bunch of different plant foods supports a diverse microbiome. So when you eat a variety of foods, essentially, you're getting different kinds of fiber and nutrients that feed various gut bacteria. So next up is lifestyle recommendations, because the truth is that gut health is extremely interconnected with overall health and well-being. So first up is hydration. Now, hydration is super beneficial all the time, but especially for gut health, and especially if you're starting to eat more fiber. It supports digestion and just general overall gut function. Next up is physical activity. So exercising can really help your gut. It helps with your digestive system and can positively influence the gut microbiome. So engage in regular physical activity. This can help to maintain a healthy digestive system and positively influence the gut microbiome. So next up is stress management. Yes, stress really affects the gut. So practicing stress managing habits can be very beneficial. You know the drill, right? So meditation, yoga. I have several yoga classes on my channel, or you could, go to any yoga channel. Find practices that for you are de-stressing. Find ways to reduce the stress in your life. Now, I don't know what your life looks like, so it's a personal thing, but really dig deep and ask yourself, what can I do to reduce stress in my life? And it will, in turn, affect your gut. Adequate sleep. Sleep affects so many different areas of our lives, including our gut. Because believe it or not, poor sleep can disrupt the balance of the gut bacteria. And limit processed foods. So as much as possible, try to reduce the amount of anything that's processed in your diet. So processed sugars, artificial sweeteners, anything that's not whole foods. These things harm the gut bacteria as well as contribute to inflammation. Okay, so here's a few bonus tips for gut health. Very important, very important. Slowly transition to a more high fiber diet, because what ends up happening is a lot of people are like, okay, I'm gonna eat more fiber, and then you go like gung-ho, and then all of a sudden your digestion's like, oh, yeah, and then you're like, I can't eat high fiber, or I can't eat all these plant foods, or vegan food makes me bloaty or gassy or whatever. And it's because if you were not eating very much fiber before, then of course, if you introduce all this fiber, like all of a sudden, your digestive system is going to be like, what is going on? So highly recommend that you go slowly when you're adding in more fiber. Next up is to add in more anti-inflammatory foods. So berries, leafy greens, gotta love those, as well as nuts. And one thing I want to touch upon is that the gut is known as the emotional brain, right? So like we spoke about before, reducing stress, it's really important to get in touch with your emotions and how they're affecting your gut. It's kind of like when people say go with your gut. Essentially, they're saying what is deep within you, right? So when you have gut concerns, I really feel that a lot of the time, obviously there's the practical kind of like concrete side of things, but then there's also the like emotional brain aspect. Like if your gut's freaking out, what sort of emotions need to be dealt with or thought about or looked into. Now, here are a few things that you'll want to avoid for optimum gut function. So, namely, harmful substances. Avoid over antibiotic usage. So only take antibiotics if they're absolutely necessary, because of course they can really disrupt the balance of your gut bacteria. And minimize alcohol and smoking, obviously, because that negatively affects your gut among other aspects of your life. I mean, it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it because it's true. And lastly, I'd love to share some resources with you because, we don't have that much time to go deep, and this is a vast subject, and I'd love to help you. So here are some additional resources if you want to be an A student and go a little deeper into the subject of gut health. So you'll notice I didn't go into any specifics like about IBS or Crohn's or Candida or something. And that's because obviously these are also rabbit hole topics. But if you have been plagued by digestive issues, with gut health issues, I highly recommend that you go a little deeper. You start to really become, a scholar on these topics in order to help you or maybe someone you love. And one wonderful way to do that is to take a course on gut health. So I can highly recommend the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which is where I studied holistic nutrition. I can link a video all about my experience with that, but they have a specific gut health course, which is amazing because you can really, just focus on, like if gut health is really interesting to you, you can just focus on gut health. And this is where you can really delve deep into the topic. They're going to cover things like GERD and the gut hormone connection, as well as SIBO, thyroid, blood sugar, leaky gut, food intolerances, allergies, etc. Like the whole kit and caboodle of gut health. And of course, since I'm an alumni of the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, you can get a very lovely, large discount on this course if it's interesting to you, because I have a code for you as an alumni. So definitely use my code as well as my link down below so that you can get the best price possible, because these kinds of things are investments. And so you want to make sure you're getting the best price that you can possibly get. And just on that note, if something has truly been plaguing you, I really highly suggest that you do invest in it, whether that's with your time or money or both, to really be a detective so that you can have relief. Because otherwise we're just kind of like, oh, the doctors aren't helping me, or, we can just kind of like go along in our life accepting that, we're in pain or something's not working, and you don't have to accept. You just keep digging, keep trying to figure out what it is that you can do to help the function of your body so that you can experience more joy and less pain. It's like, I really recommend continued study on things like this. Another wonderful resource is Dr. B, Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. Bulsiewicz. I can't say it. Dr. Bulsiewicz. That's why he goes by Dr. B. He has 2 books on the topic of gut health, and he's really a wonderful resource. Of course, I'm also a fan of Goji Man, who has a ton of resources on gut health and SIBO and how to heal these kinds of intestinal issues. So I myself worked with Goji Man before we decided to have a child so that I could check the health of my body. And he was just so helpful, so nice, just a nice guy. And on the same page nutritionally as well. So he's an awesome resource that I could suggest to you. And lastly, Married to Health is a couple that specializes in gut health. I actually don't know them personally, but I'm really impressed with their work. Definitely check them out and see all the wonderful resources that they have to help you with gut health. Thank you guys so much for watching Veggie Magnifique. I truly hope that you found this video helpful and it will help you in any way to heal your body or help you with gut health, or maybe someone that you love. Of course, if you did find it helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content of this kind. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next time on Veggie Magnifique TV. Bye!